Hey, it's John Terry with Vision Advisors, and I want to ask a question. What's missing from your in-person event that's costing you sales? I want to take the next few moments and I want to talk about how you can get more mileage from your in-person events, whether you're feeding them food or not. I want to talk about a couple of missing elements that can make the difference between an okay event and an amazing event that really gives you an opportunity to maximize your potential with every person in the room. Are you ready? Great. Grab a pen and a piece of paper because you're going to want to take some notes. Let's jump right in and get started. You know, when we think about seminar marketing, it's really the lifeblood of the successful producer's business in our industry. You look at the top producers in our industry that are doing 2 million, 5 million, 10 million a year or more, and seminars are an integral part of what they do. Now, it may not always be a seminar at a food event. It might be a radio show or a television show or a podcast or some other way they're delivering a message to the masses. The idea behind a seminar, whether it's a food, a non-food event, or a variety of different ways that you can deliver that message today, it's a cost-effective way for you to get in front of your ideal target audience and engage them in a conversation that leads to sales. But you and I know, especially if you're going to do a seminar event, whether it's food or non-food, there's some back-end work that has to be done. Number one, you've got to identify up front who is the audience you want to be in front of at your event. Who are the individuals, your target audience, that you want to deliver a message to? What do they look like? What are their likes and dislikes? What are their demographics? What are their psychographics? What are the unique things you want to use in identifying that audience? And secondly, from that, what is the message that audience wants to hear from you? What are their pain points? What are their fears and anxieties? What are their goals, their dreams, their aspirations? What keeps them awake at night? And what message can you deliver that starts a conversation that can lead to a sale? And once you've identified your target audience and the message you want to take to them, you've then got to decide, where are you going to deliver that message? What venue? Is it going to be a food event? And if so, what type of food? Steak, seafood, chicken, Chinese, Mexican, Italian. There's all sorts of venues available today. Where are you going to invite that audience, and what types of food does your ideal target audience prefer to eat if they have a preference? And if you're doing a non-food event, are you going to do it at a community center? Are you going to do it at your office? Are you going to rent hotel space? Are you going to find a community room that you can utilize? Can you find a corporate sponsor like a bank or a CPA firm or a law firm or some other group that wants to partner with you and make their facilities available for you to use? Is there an event center in town that you can rent and maybe host that event non-food, but still have refreshments? A variety of different areas that you can consider. Can you use a library? A variety of different venues you can choose from. From that, you've got to figure out what date and what time do you want to schedule your event. Are you going to do it one day and one time only? Are you going to do it one day and do it twice, once in the afternoon, once in the evening? Are you going to offer 2 evening events? Figuring out how frequently you're going to offer that in-person opportunity is another decision you've got to make. And then you've got to identify what marketing mediums are you going to use to invite the audience. Direct mail, text messaging, social media marketing. Are you going to use outbound phone calls? Are you going to use a postcard? Are you going to use a wedding style invitation? Identifying how you're going to get the message to the audience and invite them to attend, another piece of back-end work you've got to do. And then ultimately, you got to determine, what are you going to present at the event? Are you going to use a PowerPoint? Do you need a whiteboard? Are there going to be handouts? How are you going to handle registration? A variety of different things on the back end to make sure that the event is successful and that it goes off without a hitch. And then once everybody shows up, you've got to deliver the goods. You're going to welcome your audience as they attend, and you're going to help them get seated, and then you're going to deliver your presentation. Then there's going to be a call to action at the end. You're going to introduce the problem that you're discussing or the goal or objective that they want to achieve. And then you're going to amplify that so they really feel the pain of the problem, or they truly desire the goal or objective that you are introducing them to. And then you're going to let them know you have a solution to help them solve the problem, reach the goal, or achieve an objective. And then you're going to invite them to a follow-up meeting with you to learn more about what it is that you do and how you can deliver the promises you made in your presentation. And then once you made your call to action, what are you going to do? You're going to schedule your appointments. You're going to let your audience know you've cleared your schedule for the next 2 weeks to meet with them. And then you're going to tell them how they're going to schedule an appointment with you before they leave that venue, and you're going to get them on your calendar. It may be your assistant in the back of the room that has your calendar and she's going to be booking events. It may be a link you give them that they log on while they're there on their phones and they schedule time to be with you using Calendly or one of the other services. You've got to figure out how you want them to schedule an appointment. Maybe it's a registration form they fill out and indicate available times, and you will call them back and confirm a time with them. You want to thank them for coming, and you want to let them eat if they're eating, or if it's a non-food event, you want to let them mingle and then go home. Now, important to remember, you may put 20, 30, 40, 50 people in a room, but when it comes to scheduling that appointment and giving that call to action, some are going to respond immediately and some won't. You're going to have folks that have a very high interest level in the message you shared, and they are ready to take action right now. That is going to be your biggest group of immediate responders, your highly motivated people. Now, there are also some people who have a high level of interest, but they're not yet convinced or ready yet. Those will be your opportunities for follow-up if you engage in the appropriate follow-up. Now, what's often missing are the people below the line that you see here on the screen. And those are the people whose interest level is not quite as high as it should be to get them over that midline, that they are much more ready to engage now. Maybe there's questions they have. Maybe they're not sure if what you shared applies to them, or maybe it's not yet time for them to make that decision. Whatever the reason, they didn't say yes at the moment, but it doesn't mean they won't say yes down the road. Now, what I typically see happen at this point is most financial professionals are going to focus their energy and efforts on those individuals in the upper right-hand corner, the highly motivated people that want to buy right now, and they put 100% of their effort into those individuals in the room. They might do a follow-up thank you card and a phone call to those who want to learn more, and maybe reach out to them once or twice, but there's not a system to follow up with those. But everybody else at that point is considered they didn't want it, they weren't interested, let's move on. That is a bad decision that's limiting your opportunity to maximize your potential with that group of people. So I want to challenge you this. After you've given them an opportunity to come to the table and they've had an opportunity to partake and eat from what you're delivering, the content that you're giving them to consume, don't forget dessert. Now, what do I mean by that? Some people are highly motivated. They're going to buy right now. They're going to schedule an appointment with you. There are others with a little bit of nudging and encouragement and giving them a little bit of additional information. They're going to say yes, and they're going to want to book in the next 2 weeks. But there are others out there that want and need what you have to offer, but the time isn't right. What do you do to maximize your potential with that group? Remember, this is part of the secondary buyer's market. In my 4-part training, How to Be an Attractional Advisor, I spend a lot of time in one of those 4 sessions teaching you about the secondary buyer's market. If you've not had an opportunity to go through that sales training, I encourage you to reach out to us here at Vision Advisors and say, hey, John, I need to get access to that 4-part sales training. That is an integral sales training that will take your practice to the very next level. And this secondary buyer's market training in and of itself is well worth your time to invest in yourself to learn what I teach in that 4-part series. Now, this secondary buyer's market is made up of several groups of people. Number one, the people that aren't going to buy today, but they are going to buy soon. That's that 15 to 20% of buyers who are not yet ready right now, this moment. They're still looking for information. They're still trying to make up their mind, but they are going to buy soon, likely within the next 30 to 90 days. These are your slow decision makers that don't make impulsive decisions they later regret. They're very slow and they're methodical. They are the box checkers. And until they check all the boxes off and make sure that everything is checked and they're ready to move forward, they're not going to agree to an appointment. But once they do agree to meet with you, they are ready to take action right then. If you're not engaging with these individuals that are at your event that don't schedule an appointment, they're going to buy, but they're not going to buy from you. They're going to buy from somebody else. Now, there's a second group in the secondary buyer's market, and it's those still trying to decide. There's another 15 to 20% of buyers who are procrastinators. They're going to put off making a decision to say yes until the very last minute because they just wait till the last minute to do everything. And until it is crunch time and all of a sudden mom and dad have had a long-term care event and they realize they don't have long-term care insurance on their own, when a life event happens, that's when they'll take action. Now, these people will buy once they are moved to finally take action, but they are going to drag their feet. They will meet with you and they won't say yes, but they'll come back a month, 2 months, 3 months later to meet with you again. And at that point may likely buy. Still trying to decide if you're the person they want to work with and the solution you're bringing to the table actually solve their problem. Now, if you're doing any live event, food, non-food, radio, television, webinar, seminar, podcast, whatever it may be, there are going to be people that register to attend, but they don't show up. These are people that had very good intentions. They were interested in the message that you are offering, or if it was food, they were interested in the restaurant that you were going to offer them food for. And that's your opportunity to convince them to go from plate liquor to a prospect that books an appointment. But here's the deal. While they had great intentions, life got in the way. And for whatever reason, they missed it. Maybe they booked it and a family member got sick. They had a flat tire. The car wouldn't start. They simply forgot because they're not very organized. Whatever the reason, they're registered, they were interested, but they didn't attend. But they want to know more about what it is that you offer. And then there's going to be another group that the date or time that you offered wasn't convenient, or they already had something booked on the 2 days that you gave them an option to on the calendar, and they couldn't make your event. They would love to hear what you have to offer. They do have an issue, a concern, a problem, a fear, or an anxiety they need your help solving. It's just that that time wasn't good for them. So what do you do with that group? You've got to look at your business model itself, and you've got to be able to answer this question. What's your follow-up strategy after your live in-person event? You see, as we look at this group of people that attended, there's 3 groups of people. Number one, those who registered, attended, and actually booked an appointment. Those highly motivated people that we saw in the illustration a few slides back. There's group 2, that little box or that little circle to the left, registered and attended, but they still want to learn more. They're not yet convinced. And as a result of that, they didn't book an appointment with you. And then there's group 3, those who registered, but for whatever reason, did not attend. Now, when I talk to financial professionals across the country, they focus on group 1 almost exclusively. All of their effort goes there. They might spend a little bit of time on group 2, but they tend to ignore group 3. Understand this. 80% of prospects that attend an event or register to attend an event are not going to buy from you until they've experienced a minimum of 8 unique touches from you. We know this from a number of studies in consumer buying behavior and looking into the world of human intelligence and how people make buying decisions. And it's amazing that this number plays true, and it's continued to play true for some time. 80% of potential buyers that could or would buy from you are not going to engage with you and buy from you until they've had an opportunity to get to know you, like you, and trust you, and believe that you're actually going to deliver the goods to them. That typically takes somewhere between 6 to 8. And what we're seeing now is a minimum number of 5 to 8 touches uniquely from you to move them in. If after the 8th touch, they have not bought from you, the likelihood that they will buy begins to diminish. After 12 touches, it diminishes significantly, but there's still a subset of even that group that may come back and buy from you in the future when life happens and their needs changes. So here's my question for you. What's your plan for group 1, group 2, and group 3 post-event? How are you going to ensure the very best odds of maximizing all your opportunity with each of these 3 groups of prospects? I find it interesting that I've had an opportunity just over the last 30 days to sit in on some webinars and some sales trainings from other groups that are talking about how to maximize sales. Now, these are marketing organizations that charge tens of thousands of dollars for you to enroll in their programs. And as I've had an opportunity to sit in and to listen to their workshops as they're laying out and sharing their secret sauce and how they help you implement it, interestingly enough, what they're charging $10, $15, $20, $25,000 to learn, we're teaching you, and we're working with advisors just like you to deliver these amazing expansions to your business. And it's not costing you 10 grand. It's not costing you 5 grand. It's an opportunity to work with us and give us an opportunity to help you grow and scale your practice. I saw a stat the other day that said, if your business isn't growing 20% a year, you're not really focused on growing your business. So how do we take this business model, and you're doing seminars, you're doing workshops, you're doing a podcast, you're doing radio, you're doing television, whatever it is you're doing, when you're offering an opportunity for them to meet with you, what do we do with group 1, group 2, and group 3? Remember what I said? Don't forget dessert. I want to give you an idea. Offer them another chance to partake. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is this. For group 1, what do we want to do? Those who registered, attended, and booked an appointment, we want to create a post-event nurturing sequence. You want to have a thank you postcard that goes out after they attend, handwritten from you, thanking them for coming. You then want to have a series of email and text reminders to them about their upcoming appointment with you. The day before the appointment, they need to get a phone call from you and a text message from you. The day of the appointment, about an hour out, they need to get a text message reminder. And then, depending on the outcome of that meeting, you want an appropriate follow-up nurturing sequence before you move them into your regular nurturing campaigns. Now, what about group 2, those that registered, attended, but didn't schedule an appointment? Again, what's the sequence look like? After they attend your event, even if they said no to an appointment, they still get a handwritten thank you card. Then they get an invitation to an online replay to hear the message again. Now, whether you're going to deliver that live in a webinar, pre-recorded in a webinar, or you record it and simply send it out to them as a link to a YouTube or a Vimeo video, or you built it into a digital marketing sequence that they register for, watch and attend, there's a variety of ways to deliver that, and we can help you identify the best ways to do that with your audience. But you want to give them a second bite at the apple, another chance to partake in what you're going to deliver so they can consume your content and say, this is good, I want more. You want to have a follow-up sequence depending on the outcome to whether or not they actually watched the online replay or responded to an invitation to do so. And then you want to add them to your regular nurturing campaign. Now, group 3, those that registered but didn't attend, the post-event nurturing sequence looks a little bit different than group 2, but again, very similar. They get a "We missed you" postcard. You want to handwrite to them a postcard that says, hey, we missed you. I'm sorry you couldn't attend. And then you want to give them an invitation to attend a live webinar or an on-demand webinar, or you send them a video replay of the message that you delivered, giving them an opportunity to consume the content that you delivered so they can taste and see that this is good and they want more. You're giving them another bite at the apple, another chance to hear the message they missed that was so important for them, they registered. Then, depending on their response to that, you want to have a follow-up nurturing sequence to continue to move that opportunity down your sales funnel, driving them to ultimately set an appointment with you. And then you want to also add them to your regular nurturing campaign. The goal here is to maximize your opportunity. Statistically, here's what we know. 30 to 50% of people that are going to attend an in-person event are going to schedule a follow-up appointment with you after your event is over, assuming you delivered the goods. You gave them the solution, or you gave them the answer they were looking for, or they believe that you can help them solve the problem that's keeping them awake at night. Now, you can increase those numbers by another 10 to 20%, and with individuals who said no to an initial appointment. But if you continue to follow up with them, you continue to add value, you continue to nurture that relationship through emails, through content you share, through outbound phone calls, and other invitations to engage with you, another 10 to 20% are ultimately going to raise their hand in the next 30, 60, or 90 days and say, I want an appointment too. But if you want to take that from 10 to 20% and get another 15 to 25% on top of that, not only do you want to have that nurturing sequence, you want to offer them an opportunity to see your presentation via webinar. Don't miss that. If you're going to spend the time, energy, effort, and money to do a live in-person event, it doesn't take that much more to also pre-record the event and offer it as an on-demand replay, or to host an opportunity to hear the event live via webinar where you can interact with your audience, or simply record the message and share it to them through one of your video sharing platforms. That in itself is going to give you a significant opportunity to maximize your potential with the group of people that found the message so important they wanted to register for an event. So my question to you is this: are you okay with just 30 to 50% of the room? Or would you like to make that 60, 65, 70, 75, 80% of the room that ultimately says yes to your offer? Now, there's 20 to 30% that are never going to say yes to your offer, and just understand that they're plate lickers, or they're not a candidate for what it is that you do. And that's okay. But why settle for 30 to 50 where we're with just a little bit of additional work and creating systems that you can automate? And once you automate those, every time you do an event, you simply plug and play, and you take that number from 30 to 50 to 40 to 60, or from there to 45 to 75% of the room. Which of those numbers would you prefer? So in summary, what do we know? You can increase your opportunities with this target audience that you spent time, energy, and money to prepare for, to deliver a message that speaks to a concern they have, an anxiety they want to go away, or a goal or objective they want to achieve. You can increase your opportunities to get in front of more people by adding dessert to the menu, giving them another opportunity, another bite at the apple, another chance to hear the message they missed, or to hear the message again until it resonates and they raise their hand and say, I get it. And oh, by the way, if they have an opportunity to hear what they missed or hear it again, they might just find it so compelling, they want to share it with a friend, a neighbor, a family, or a coworker. And all of a sudden, they become part of your unpaid sales force, your referral partners, sharing your message with other opportunities that cost you nothing more than continuing to nurture that event. Remember, 5 to 8 touches to get them to say yes. So you also, in addition to adding a webinar option, live on demand, I recommend, why not both? Why not give them a live option, and if they miss it, then follow back up with some on-demand opportunity so you can actually track who registers and attends and engage in appropriate follow-up. If you send them a YouTube or a Vimeo video, they may watch it, but you don't know who watched it, so you don't know whether or not to trigger the appropriate sequence. And then you want to implement that nurturing campaign so you continue to take them down the sales funnel further and further and further until they raise their hand and say, yes, I want an appointment, or no, this isn't for me, but thank you. And then you want to keep adding value. You want to move them into your regular nurturing sequence. So they're getting your monthly newsletter. They're hearing from you on a regular basis. They're seeing you show up on Facebook Live and all the other things you should be doing to stay engaged and expand and grow relationship with your clients. Again, what we talk about in How to Be an Attractional Advisor, our sales and marketing training model, teaching you how the top 5% sell more, and do more than the bottom 95% of all financial professionals. Ask for that training, and we'll be happy to get that resource to you, provided you're contracted and doing business with Vision Advisors. And then lastly, keep adding value and invite them to your next opportunity. Here's one of the things I know: the most successful producers show up on a consistent and regular basis. They may do dinner events every single month, and that's fantastic. But they also do non-food events where they're doing ongoing educational events with their clients, because they know their clients don't have just one money need, they have several. They also know that their clients have a network of people that have similar money needs, that if they're offering ongoing opportunities to get educated, to learn what they don't know about money, and to learn what they don't know about important financial topics that can benefit them or a friend, a neighbor, or a family member, it creates those unique opportunities for them to invite others to come and hear the message. But if you don't invite them and your competition does, who ends up getting not just the sale, but the referrals that come from that? It definitely won't be you. So if you're doing live events, add a webinar, implement a nurturing campaign, and keep adding value and inviting them back again and again and again. Now, you may not want to feed them 100 times, and that's okay, but you can continue to invite them to the non-food events you do and give them an opportunity to continue to know you, like you, trust you, get familiar with you, and learn how knowledgeable and experienced you are and what you can do to make a greater impact in their lives and help them really have financial peace of mind at the end of the day because they've worked with you. Now, if you need help implementing what we've talked about, that's who we are. That's what we do here at Vision Advisors. We are a marketing-focused, results-oriented IMO that does one thing very well. We look at your business practice and we help understand and help you identify who is your target market audience that you have the best opportunity to deliver and see success in. And then we help you build marketing strategies and tactics around that so that you can grow and scale your practice by serving the customers you prefer to serve and attracting them into your business and repelling those that are a waste of your time and that you can't serve well. So what do you need to do? Give us a call, 1-800-505-8489. Press 0 at the voice prompt. You'll be immediately connected to one of our business consultants. You can also visit us at visionadvisorsinc.com. And at the bottom of the homepage, you'll see a calendar link to any one of our business consultants. Schedule time there. Let's have a conversation about how we help you maximize your opportunity if you're doing live events. And if you're not, let's talk about some ways that you can be doing that without having to spend a fortune. And while we're having that conversation, don't forget to ask us how Vision Advisors can help pay for your marketing. I'm John Terry with Vision Advisors. I want to say thanks for joining me and have a great day.